Something new.
Hello, or should I say, surprise? Well, don't be surprised. It's Wednesday night and it's Still News Extra, the program that brings you the extra touch to news happening around you. I am Joseph Johnson, sitting in for your usual host, Fatima Habas Hassan. We are in a festive mood, and I guess compliments of the season are in order at this point. We have a truly extra package tonight. We shall kick off on security matters, take on some political stories, and then go into the festivities, of course. Even as we celebrate, business must go on. So we have some business news, social intervention and tourism stories. And there is the usual sports update, an update of tomorrow's weather as workers return to their offices after the Christmas holiday. That is the outlook. So stay with me as I bring to you News Extra. Let's start off in Zamfara State because the Nigerian Air Force unit, Sokoto, is to be upgraded immediately to fully fledged quick response group for coordination of the ongoing operation Deran Mikia, aimed at flushing out armed bandits terrorizing the people of Zamfara State. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar announced this while on an assessment visit to Gusau, the state capital. Jamilu Ibrahim tells us more.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, was in Zamfara State in compliance with the presidential directive mandating him to assess the recent mass killings and damage as a result of attacks by armed bandits on some rural communities across the state. Air Marshal Abubakar, who met with the commander of the Operation Deremikia and that of Operation Sharandaji at the Nigerian Air Force 207 Quick Response Group Gusau, said they had a fruitful deliberation on how to re-strategize towards re-strengthening the two military operations currently going on in the state.
We are taking additional steps as Nigerian Air Force. We are going to activate a flying unit in Sokoto immediately so that they will support the operation from that angle. And I'm sure by the special grace of God we should be able to add more value to what is currently going on here.
Air Marshal Abubakar, who expressed confidence that armed banditry and other related crimes in Zamfara and some other neighboring states will soon be over.
Emphasize the need for intelligence. Intelligence is very critical to what we are doing. So it is very important, and I think we have been able to understand each other.
The Chief of Air Staff was also at Government House Gusau, where he commiserated with the government and people of the state over the recent killings and reassured them of the Nigerian Air Force commitment, along with other security forces, towards addressing the prevailing security challenges. It is now the overall expectation of people in Zamfara State that this visit will translate into action soonest through improved security of their lives and property. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the military is fighting terrorism using guns, while journalists are using their pen as weapon for the prosecution of the critical war. To achieve success in the quest to eradicate terrorism and other social vices, the military and journalists must unite and work closely in the fight against the common global threat. This is the first of an interactive session between the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukuru Buratai, and media editors in Nigeria. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa covered the event held in Maiduguri, the epicenter and command base of the war against terrorism.
Ideological warfare is a critical component of the ongoing counter-terrorism operations in the Northeast. Terrorists instill fear in the society through propagation of retrogressive radical ideology through the media.
Terrorists thrive in publicity. In countries like Turkey, even though the relationship between government and the media has been rather adversarial, the media helps the government and the country's armed forces by according little or no voice to terrorists and divisive elements. This understanding exists in Pakistan and a host of other countries experiencing the scourge of terrorism.
It is in a view to collectively counter this negative narrative, capable of demoralizing troops in the front line, that the Army is organizing this interactive session between media editors and the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukuru Buratai.
In everything we do, the preservation of Nigeria as one indivisible and united corporate entity should be our topmost goal. The war against terrorism and insurgency need to be viewed and reported as it is. War between the Federal Republic of Nigeria and terrorists and criminals, not between Nigerian army versus the Boko Haram terrorists.
Issues raised include exaggeration of casualty figure, the need for adequate cross-checking of facts before broadcast, and the growing trend of fake news.
The Chief of Army Staff reinforced the need for the media to assist the army in defeating the insurgency by the way we report, by showing greater patriotism, by siding with our gallant armed forces against the enemy.
We have one thing in common, that is the unity of Nigeria, the cohesion. National unity and cohesion of Nigeria is uppermost to the military and to the media. So this kind of platform will cement the relationship existing between the two establishments.
Prompt and adequate funding of military operations were also emphasized at the event. From Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Now, are you aware that the Nigerian Air Force is the youngest of the services? Well, that notwithstanding, it is turning out to be very strategic in modern warfare. That is why we have seen it grow in leaps and bounds under the Buhari's administration. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello takes a look at this growth, especially platform acquisition and rehabilitation in this year ending.
Before the President Buhari's administration came on board, the Nigerian Air Force could not really adorn the sky through provision of close air support for ground troops due to grounded platforms that were supposed to be deployed in the theater of operations.
Aircraft and the support given to us in terms of spare parts, we now have quite a number of airplanes in Kaduna that are used for training. Therefore, one of the batches, I think, completed their ab initio training in 4 months.
But this administration brought back the glory of the force through funding for acquisition of platforms and reactivation.
One of the most important things we have benefited from the present administration is platform acquisition. The President and Commander-in-Chief and the National Assembly and the entire government itself has really looked at the needs of the Air Force.
In all, over 40 platforms have been acquired, reactivated, and deployed to improve the combat efficiency of the Air Force.
We have 4 helicopter gunships that have been procured and are currently in Nigeria. And we have acquired 10 brand new Super Mishak aircraft. The Super Tucano aircraft, which the federal government has also paid for 12. So if you put together, you have 10, you have 5, that's 15. Then you have another 5, we are expecting that's 20. Another 12 from the US, you are talking of 32. And then in addition to that, of course, we are going to acquire the JF-17 fighter aircraft from Pakistan, which is 3. So if you put together this number, you are talking of close to 40 aircraft.
The robust capacity building of personnel has also helped towards improving the professionalism of the force. The force says it will continue to discharge its constitutional responsibility of protecting the nation's territorial integrity. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Gallant airmen flying high there. The Buhari Media Organization says the donation of 1.7 billion naira to the Buhari campaign fund by rice farmers and fertilizers distributors is an assurance of 12 million votes for the president in next year's election. According to the organization, people who have enough confidence in a person to donate their widow's mite of 100 naira each to his election campaign fund will definitely vote for that person, both their friends and relations. The BMO, in a statement, appreciated the testimonies by rice farmers through their leadership leadership that the Anchor Borrowers program has yielded more employment opportunities for their teeming youth in Nigeria, rice sufficiency to the Nigerian populace, and easy access to fertilizers for fertilizers producers. Government Fertilizer Initiative has served the country 120 billion naira subsidy and crashed the price of fertilizers within the last 3 years. BMO says it believes that looking at the card-carrying members in both the rice farmers and fertilizers producing associations, it can confidently say that President Buhari will get the votes of all the members of the two associations. The Department of State Services has released Sani Mohammed Baba Ina, ADC, to the wife of the President, Aisha Buhari, and handed him over to the police for further administrative action. A statement by the Public Relations Officer, DSS Afunaya Peter, says that investigation disclosed that Sani Mohammed Baba Ina was never directed or indirectly instructed by the wife of the President to act or collect in her name money or material gifts from any person or group of persons. Have you ever considered celebrating Christmas without eating rice? Oh no, you may say. Then why rice at Christmas? Stay tuned, we shall be right back.
As the number of people wey people dey born dey reduce, now so the money wey them they get to spend they increase. Enough proof don't they to show say countries where them families they born, the number of people where they fit take care of, the stress to take care of the children no they plenty at all for the family. If families fit they enjoy this kind benefit of expenses we know they too much. You fit imagine how it go fit help boost country economy like Nigeria own. As leader where you be, the solution dey your hand. And what you need to do now to take action now. All we lawmakers and everybody where they power and government must make sure say them put enough money down. We go make sure say childbirth spacing where plenty people sabi as family planning services full everywhere. Our pastors, imam, and traditional leaders supposed to put mouth tell them people about the better thing where child spacing they do. This work, now our handy day, we get the full responsibility to do them. We must join hand and get it together, make our future for bright. Now Federal Ministry of Health, they bring you this message.
Since 1971, Nigeria's foremost human capital development institution, the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, has been at the forefront of equipping Nigerians with skills for national growth. Today's ITF has repositioned and refocused its programs, forging new partnerships locally and internationally to effectively deliver on its mandate. With 37 area offices and 5 industrial skills training centers across the country, ITF is pushing to reduce unemployment by providing relevant technical and vocational skills for employability and entrepreneurship in diverse trades and crafts. Whether you're a public or private organization seeking to improve the skills of your personnel or an individual looking to acquire skills that will increase your chances of employment or even to help start your own business, today's ITF has a program for you. Speak to us today. Contact our area offices nationwide or visit our website www.itf.gov.ng. ITF, developing the nation's human resource.
Season's greetings from the Nigeria Police Force. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Ibrahim Batum Idris, NPM, MNI, on behalf of the entire officers and men of the Nigeria Police Force, felicitates with the entire Christian community in our great country Nigeria as they celebrate this year's Christmas and New Year. He enjoins the Christians faithful to emulate the virtues of Jesus Christ by propagating peace, demonstrating love, forgiveness, and harmonious coexistence among citizens irrespective of religious, ethnic, and political inclinations. The IGP assures all Nigerians of adequate security before, during, and after the Yuletide, hence the massive deployment of officers and men of the force across the country. However, he appeals to the public to partner with police by being vigilant, security conscious, and providing useful information to the police deployed in their localities. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year in advance.
Sensitivity is a short pain which occurs when teeth are exposed to hot, cold, or acidic things. Cold water from the fridge would trigger off sensitivity. A lot of people would accept anyway and just grin and bear the pain. What I would say to the patient is switch to Sensodyne, make it your daily toothpaste. Over a period of time would reduce tooth sensitivity. And a lot of them come back to thank me, to say that, wow, it's just something so simple. It adds the sparkle back into their life.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Tayi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
Place like home. Get a GoTV decoder and GoTenna and 1 month of GoTV Max subscription for only 6,900 Naira. GoTV. Live it, love it.
It is that time of the year when we appreciate all those that mean so much to us. All sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, business, and above all, you, our esteemed viewers. Together we made 2018 great. Together we shall make 2019 even greater. And that is why we say thank you. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Glad to have you back. It's still News Extra. The presidency says if the People's Democratic Party, PDP, wants to make family the issue in the coming elections, the APC would gladly accept their challenge. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, noted that the PDP cannot afford to make family an issue in this campaign and only engaging in mudslinging because they don't have the strength and support to fight President Buhari. Now, let me tell you something laughable but quite interesting. It was my little niece who came visiting that woke me up with a punch this morning. My reaction was, "What is that for?" And she excitedly replied, "Uncle, it's Boxing Day." It's Boxing Day, but the day definitely has nothing to do with the sport. In this report, Patricia Esamiluba takes a look at what the day is, its significance, and how it is celebrated in Nigeria.
While the Christmas Day is generally understood due to its direct religious linkage to the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ, the Boxing Day, however, which is celebrated the day after Christmas, is more complex as the way it is observed across nations of the world differs. Its origin is rooted in British traditions, but in Ireland, 26 December is called St. Stephen's Day. History also have it that in the British Commonwealth, the servants of wealthy families had to work on Christmas Day, and their services were usually rewarded with gift boxes, which they were only allowed to take the next day off work to spend with their families. It is a public holiday in Nigeria, and many, irrespective of background, use the day to spend time with their loved ones. Godwin Onobi and his family were seen in the mood of the holiday, and he said, though he has no loved boxes to share, extending hands of love and care is important on a day like this.
Just as me and my family who came to Millennium Park after visiting friends, having giving gifts to each other.
The lessons for this goodwill season is of unity, of fairness, of peace, and all of these are derived from love.
An Islamic scholar, Imam Ibrahim Akalambi, and a Christian clergy, Reverend Udochi Odikanwa, have a religious perspective to Boxing Day.
The relationship that Boxing Day has with the Islam is not the name per se, but what they do, that they sharing love, which Islam is calling everybody to read, that we should love one another.
So Boxing Day is biblical. Yes, from the traditional angle, they have also tried to repeat what is written in the scripture about showing of love and giving. But we must not also stop there. We must not just stop at a Boxing Day. We should be givers naturally.
This year's celebration is coming at a time Nigeria is getting closer to another political history. There is the need for citizens to cultivate the acts of love sharing and peaceful coexistence to help the nation achieve the desired peace and growth. In Abuja, Patricia A. Semiluba, NTA News.
Well, I hope my niece knows better now. More than 2,000 years ago, something happened that put into perspective messages such as peaceful coexistence, humility, and sacrificial love. Did I hear you say that must be the birth of Jesus Christ, observed every 25th December as Christmas? Yes, you are on point. Though today is Boxing Day to open those gifts received on Christmas Day, but how committed are people to the messages of Christmas against the background of insecurity and hate speech? Over now to Talatu Ezerike.
You are welcome, Nigeria. I like your city.
A common sight on the street of Bethlehem in Palestine, a country with high Muslim population. It is in this part of the world that Jesus was born more than 2,000 years ago. Interestingly, harmonious living is the hallmark of the people and driving home messages of sacrifice and peaceful coexistence.
The Holy Church of Sepulchre, the key is in the hand of a Muslim. A Muslim in Jerusalem won't be able to protect the church. What's wrong with us? Why is this exclusive preaching?
And I want to say it here to all Nigerians that Islam and Christianity will live as long as the world exists.
In this part of the globe, interfaith relation is highly cherished between the major religions, Christianity and Islam. The adherents of the two religions stay together, intermarry, and share in each other's religious celebrations. One practical cordial Muslim-Christian relationship is this building at Area 11 Garki, owned by the National Hajj Commission, but shared with the National Christian Pilgrims Commission before the NCPC moved to its permanent site. But over time, these cherished values were threatened by alien issues such as insecurity and hate speech, which many frown at.
The way we talk to people, sometimes is by way of accusing, we abuse, we say all this. That is not the example we have from Jesus.
We segregate. The way we treat people is not equal. And the danger the world is having today is people who have education without the fear of God.
Well, at a time like this, the message is that of uprightness in building a stronger nation. Add, put on the cap of honor, love and peace. Talatu Ezerike, NTA News.
Thank you, Talatu, and it really rests well on you. All right, the consumption of rice as a staple food cuts across status, class, and age. Rice is eaten throughout the year, but the statistics show that the sale of rice and consumption is usually high during festive periods, especially Christmas. Who will tell me they did not eat rice yesterday? But it is pleasing to note that most of the rice being patronized is homegrown rice. In this report, Olubukola Aduo takes a look at this trend and says it is in line with the federal government's Rice Revolution program.
It's Christmas, a major festivity that calls for deep celebration. Rice is central to this celebration.
Do you need salad?
Rice is one of the most staple foods in Nigeria, with the consumption per capita of 32 kg. Statistics shows that in the past decade, rice consumption increased by 4.7%, which is almost 4 times the global consumption growth, and reached 6.4 million tons in 2017, accounting for about 20% of Africa's consumption. Nigeria in time past has been a major importer of rice in Africa, and this has adversely affected local production.
With the support the government is giving to farmers now, you discover that the number of farmers going to rice production has increased. Take for instance, Lagos and Kebbi State, there's a partnership between the two of them.
According to recent figures, between 5.8 and 6 million metric tons were targeted for the year, and 9 million metric tons by 2019. This has led to a drastic reduction in rice importation by 95% from December till date. Local rice varieties, indeed, there are many of them, and they were the toast of many housewives across markets in Akure in the build-up to the Christmas festivities. In some markets in Ondo State, a bag of imported rice is sold for 22,000 naira, while the local variety goes for 16,500 naira.
At least Nigeria rice, the price needs to come down because it's our rice. So they should not use a foreign price to compare Nigeria rice. That's any system 5.
Nigerian rice is very, very, very okay. It is very, very nutritious. Now, one surprising thing is that most of those foreign rice that we eat, it will be surprising for you to know that most of them are stored in silos for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. People some for 20 years.
The clamor for the consumption of local rice in the country is yielding results as people now relish it for various reasons.
I love eating rice, and on a festive day like this, I think for me, rice is the best food to eat.
So I like rice. Very, very light, very, very light. And it digests very quickly in the body than other food.
Consumers suggested more incentives for local producers to enhance quality of local rice. In Akure, Olubukola Aduo, NTA News.
Still talking about rice, it is arguably the #1 staple food in Nigeria and the most preferred during celebrations. Little wonder that bags of rice have become the main gift shared during the Yuletide, whether homegrown or foreign, and this transcends cultures. The question is, why the rush for rice at Christmas? Paul Omokago picks up the story from here.
Christmas undoubtedly is the most elaborately celebrated festive season, not just in Nigeria, but globally. It is a season for socio-cultural and religious ceremonies, especially as it coincides with other end-of-year activities. Christmas in Nigeria unifies people of diverse ethnic, geographical, and religious backgrounds. This, Nigerians say, is partly responsible for the rush to buy rice more during this period.
It's about convenience and the need to feed a lot of people.
Rice is important because of the festive season. You know, everybody gets to eat rice.
Rice is ceremonial food for everybody. Yeah, maybe that's why.
Yawo Bendel is a popular rice dealer at Sura Market, Lagos. She takes her time to verify the quality of rice she stocks and sells to her customers, whether local or foreign.
Since I've been selling this rice for years, I have not come across anything, plastic rice. Any brand that I buy, I have a small gas cooker. I must cook that brand before I sell out.
Being the #1 staple food, rice is bought by individuals, corporate organizations, and churches. It is not only prepared and served as a meal, but packaged as gifts. To encourage patronage and consumption of homegrown rice, government placed a ban on foreign rice. Nigeria Customs in Lagos seized over 39,000 bags of foreign rice imported illegally through land border areas in Lagos, Ogun, and Oyo states. But what is the assurance that there are no actual fake rice or plastic rice, for that matter, as being circulated in the social media?
I confirm to you that we have never seized plastic rice. We don't know how the fabricators of this story got their story from.
Across many markets like this one in Lagos, people come to buy rice because they are sure of the quality of rice they are buying.
In Lagos, Paul Omukago, NTNU.
Blessed is the hand that giveth, than the one that taketh. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? It is a biblical injunction amplified by a popular reggae musician, Lucky Dube. It says, blessed is the hand that giveth than the one that taketh. So it was blessings all round at this season of sharing and caring as the wife of Nasarawa State Governor Salmatu Tanko Al-Makura, in partnership with NTA Lafia female staff, extended the hand of fellowship to Bukran Alu community of Lafia with food items and other commodities to celebrate the Yuletide. Victoria Kasua Ojito reports.
Bukan Alu, a quiet and a peaceful community, is a closed-door neighbor of NTA Lafia. Its inhabitants are predominantly farmers whose impact is felt in the area of food supply to Lafia, the state capital. The choice of the community as host to the wife of Nasarawa State Governor Salamatu Tanko Al-Makura is a mark of recognition and reward for hard work by its inhabitants. With the annual end-of-year get-together organized by NTA Lafia Women, it was a joyful moment for the community. The wife of the governor, who presented food items and other commodities to women, urges them to promote good neighborliness and be of good conduct in running the affairs of their families.
As wives and helpers, let's learn a trade. That way we will boost our income and we will not depend solely on one source to cater for our family.
Chairperson of NTA Lafia Women Forum, Jamila Abubakar, says the occasion is a way of giving back to the society.
The whole essence of this day is to share with one another the joy of the season. Christmas season is a season of love, and we in NTA Lafia deem it fit to celebrate this Christmas with you people.
The memories in the minds of the people of Bukan Alu community may not be forgotten. In Lafia, Victoria Kaswa Ojito, NT News.
Interesting. Certainly age does not deter the dance steps of someone in a happy mood. All right, let's still talking in the spirit of the Yuletide. NTA Port Harcourt was at the Port Harcourt Children's Home that caters for abandoned children. What the news crew met there was much more than charitable responses to the needs of inmates by public-spirited individuals and corporate citizens, but something stood out. One Ayo Goodness, a missing but found child, said to hail from Ibadan and about 8 years old, has spent several months in the home and very eager to be reunited with his family. Robinson Deratede is a guide on this case.
Although destiny may have stripped them of parental love, orphans in the Port Harcourt Children's Home deserve everybody's care and love to give them a sense of belonging at this festive period. Corporate bodies, families and individuals have been identifying with the children with food items and toiletries to demonstrate the reason for the season. Uloma Uji is one of the parents that have come to identify with the children. Madam, can you tell us specifically why you are here today?
I came to see the children because I love children and I want to see how they are being fed and how they are being brought up.
Today, in order to extend this show of love, some of us who are privileged to have a home that we came from, we thought it wise to come and identify with these children.
It's not about your sister, your brother, your niece, your nephew. Stretching further above your relations is very noble.
The Port Harcourt Children's Home was established in 1974 and presently caters for about 70 children. Ayo Goodness was brought to the home in May 2018, and up till now, they have not been able to trace his parents.
The officers in medical social work unit in BMH brought him to the home. A good Nigerian saw him in the dustbin. He was almost dead. The good Nigerian took him to the police station. Police now brought him to the BMH hospital. So after the treatment, there is nowhere to take him to. So the hospital now brought him to the home. So and since then, the child has been traumatized, asking of his mother. When you talk with him, he's from Yoruba. He speaks Yoruba fluently. He will tell you his name is Ayo. He has a mother, he wants to see her. After the treatment, since they brought him, he's having epilepsy. I don't know if it's as a result of what he went through.
The philanthropists here believe that their efforts will spur others towards contributing their time and resources for dignified living conditions for the less privileged. It's back to our studios.
Thank you, Robinson. Teach a man how to fish is manifesting as 170 graduates of the Empire Acquisition Scheme are presented with status parks. Where? Find out when we return.
You know, from day one, Globe makes life easier. They brought us per second billing, unbelievable data packages, and even an optic fiber cable to make sure we optimize. There are two things in our lives we depend on: the communication and information, voice and data. Whether you sell, buy, learn, teach, serve, or lead, it really comes down to those two things: voice or data. Today's world is all about you. You want what you want, how you want it, and Glow delivers. The freedom to use voice and data the way you like on every recharge. Easy.
Glow Yakata. Recharge 100 Naira and get 2,200 Naira. Minimum 500 Naira to call all networks and 10 friends and family. Plus all the data you need. Up to 6 gigabytes. Buy a Glow SIM or dial *220# to migrate. Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
Let's tell you now of FCMD, the being a culture of excellence, simple and reliable, and a hallmarks of our heads, of our heads, of our trains. We are FCMD, we are FCMD,
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Season's greetings from FCMB, My Bank and I.
What's up?
His friends didn't come.
Hey, let's practice.
But you're going out.
Don't worry about me.
Nothing satisfies a mother more than seeing a child grow up. But I know as he sweats, he'll face the risk of germs which can cause skin irritation.
That's why you need the new best ever Dettol Cool. Its new advanced formulation with extra menthol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs and gives your family icy cool freshness.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
Please come join us. Mom says we have more than enough.
Wherever you may travel, whoever you will be with, we wish you a supreme Christmas. Be supreme, Nigeria.
You in the air-conditioned office with the itchy throat. Strepsils. Girl in the spotlight with the raspy throat. Strepsils. You in the pollution. It's you. Dry throat. Strepsils. Hello in the downpour with the scratchy throat. Take Strepsils.
Strepsils, with its soothing medicinal ingredients, will heal the harm done to your throat from external factors.
Strepsils. Strepsils.
Strepsils, for a dry, itchy, raspy scratch.
Joy to the world, Buhari has come. Let all Nigerians rejoice. our future is guaranteed.
To move to the next level.
To move to the next level. To move to the next level. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas.
Wish you a Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Thanks for staying tuned. It's still News Extra. It's now time for business. Let's join Bolade Salami in our Lagos Network Center. Bolade, hope no one gave you punches today.
Not at all. Good evening. Welcome to the Business News segment. The performance of the macroeconomic indicators in the third quarter of 2018, according to data by the National Bureau of Statistics, shows that relative economic growth was recorded after growth fell to a one-year low in second quarter, thereby resulting in 1.8% annual GDP growth as against 1.5% in second quarter. The data further revealed that foreign reserves stood at $43 billion and inflation at 11%. The growth recorded in the quarter, according to the Director General of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Muda Yusuf, was relatively encouraging. He said government should create an investment climate that will further boost foreign and domestic investments.
Our foreign reserves, even though has been under some pressure as a result of developments in the external sector, the foreign reserve is still fairly robust enough to support the economy to a large extent. We have a foreign reserve currently at around $43 billion, which is good for stability. It's also good for some level of confidence. So generally, the macroeconomic environment has been fairly stable. And as investors, a stable macroeconomic environment is something that investors crave for because it supports planning and all of that. The investment climate has been quite challenging. I must admit that the government has been doing quite a lot through the PEBEC office, the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, chaired by the Vice President. There has been a lot of engagement between the Council and the private sector during the year.
In the meantime, experts have described the stability recorded in the nation's domestic trade as a means of huge reduction in importation of goods and stability in exchange rates. They emphasized the need for economic diversification, thereby making other sectors viable.
Things that impede domestic trade, like transportation. You cannot imagine the impact of the gridlock in Apapa on prices, on inflation. If you are able to have a way to remove those bottlenecks, of course, the manufacturing will thrive again, production will thrive again, because to manufacture you still need some raw materials which you have to bring from the ports to the hinterland. You need to move your goods across the country. Then power is also a very strong area that has to improve for domestic trade to strengthen. Those are the areas we need a lot of improvement for the domestic trade, and then for fiscal balance to be attained either at the state level or at the federal level.
But again, when you talk about domestic trade, the challenge of logistics was also a major issue, because it's a very large and vast country, and for you to trade properly domestically, you have to move goods from one end of the country to the other. And because of the cost of transportation, it was a major challenge for those who are in distributive trade. And this has affected investors across all sectors, whether you are talking of manufacturing, you are talking of agriculture, and to some extent even services.
The federal government is set to increase manufacturing exports to about $30 billion by 2025 through the development of special economic zones in the country. According to a statement by the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, special economic zones have been identified by the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan as a major strategic tool to accelerate the implementation of the Nigerian Industrial Revolution Plan. The statement further explained that the initiative is to develop economic zones to world-class standards and position Nigeria as the manufacturing hub in sub-Saharan Africa and a major exporter of made-in-Nigerian goods globally and regionally. And that's a wrap on business news. It's back to you, Joseph, for the continuation of News Extra. Good evening.
Thank you, Abolade. Now let's talk agriculture and produce marketing. There is a coincidence here every Wednesday as we go the extra mile to bring to you the news with the extra touch. It is a market day in Makarfi town of Kaduna with thousands of people from parts of Nigeria and neighboring countries converging. What's there to buy in the market, you may ask? Agricultural commodities, of course, thanks to the positive impact of government policies in the sector. Abdullahi Mohammed visited the market and tells us more.
In tight corners of moving vehicles, on trucks, bikes are farmers and traders transporting variety of farm produce to one of Nigeria's biggest grains and fresh food market. It is located at Makarfi local government area of Kaduna State. Just like other local produce markets, Makarfi Market strikes its highest deals on Wednesdays. Thousands of buyers and sellers converged on the market to execute transactions running into millions of naira. Grains are the most popular produce sold at the market. This is because majority of the villages within the local government area and its neighbors cultivate various kinds of grains. The market manager said there has been a remarkable increase in the supply of grains into the market this year. At least 250 trucks, each loading about 350 bags of grains, leave the market each Wednesday as against 100 or 150 recorded in the preceding year. An indication of the fact that farming is beginning to take its pride of place.
This is the period when government makes more revenue in this market.
We provide storage facilities, we provide security men, we provide means of communication.
In another segment of the market are those who deal in pepper. Hundreds of bags were on display with buyers and sellers negotiating while breaking to sneeze and cough. Surplus in the market was sugarcane. While some are loading it into trucks, others savor its sweetness. It is no surprise that sugarcane is everywhere in the market. The local government is ranked among the largest producers of the perennial herb in the country. Just as the volume of supplies of produce to the market keeps rising, so the profit margin of dealers of inputs like chemicals and fertilizers.
There was a high patronage from the start.
Stepping out of the market, these Tuaregs came calling. Their selling point a secret of a healthy living. Produce markets like that of Makarfi does not only measure the prospect of farming in Nigeria, but the resilience of the ordinary Nigerian in making ends meet. In Kaduna, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
Now, this next story is what I call empowerment with enhancement. Are you lost? Okay. How would you put it when 177 graduates of the Empower Skills Acquisition Scheme in Taraba State are presented with starter packs to establish their own businesses? That is Joseph Orten's report. He says they were trained in skills of different trades to be self-reliant.
The participants of the 3 months Empower Build Skills Acquisition Training were engaged in different trades to acquire necessary knowledge and skills in welding, carpentry, fashion designing, building and aluminium, among many others. State coordinator of Empower, Ezekiel Bagudu, while presenting certificates and starter packs, told the beneficiaries, make it known to them that entrepreneurship is one of the major builders of any strong economy, explaining why the federal government wants the youth, who form the larger population of the country, to be a major force for the diversification policy of the economy through small and medium-scale production. Taraba State Commissioner of Youth and Sports, Gembo Indefo, advises the beneficiaries not to sell the equipment handed over to them and use them to build and expand their businesses for better future.
We are discouraging some of them because when this material has been given to them, some of them will go and sell it. They should use it so tomorrow too they can train others.
The Empower Build Skills Acquisition Training is one among the many ongoing schemes being carried out by the federal government to engage youths in meaningful ventures. In Jalingo, Joseph Sound O10, NTA News.
Development experts are in agreement over the fact that developing the young population and empowering youths economically is a great step towards sustainable growth of any country. I can see why the federal government is bent on empowering Nigerians' youth. For example, in your state, the third circle of youths empowerment and social support operations is on in Iseyin. Shola Wahid is here to tell us all about it.
In its efforts to give succor to the less privileged, Oyo State government obtained financial assistance from the World Bank through the federal government to support the implementation of the Youth Empowerment and Social Support Operations. This is a poverty alleviation scheme designed for Nigerian youths for them to contribute to the development of their various communities. Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi represented promised his administration will continue to improve the standards of living of his people.
It's for the vulnerable and the poor of the poorest in our communities to benefit from the social skills and token being given, but it's not a dash. They'll be working for it within their community.
The beneficiaries here present are youth, men and women who live in remote communities and not so remote communities where there are little or no amenities.
Some beneficiaries expressed their appreciation.
This program will help a lot of youths.
Actually, this program will assist me in order to take good care of myself and my family.
744 participants from 19 local government areas of Oyo State were beneficiaries of the third batch. Participants are expected to undergo a 3-day orientation course, after which they will be posted to their various workplaces. In Iseyin, Shola Wahid, NTA News.
Good governance is all about raising the standard of living of the governed and providing them with the wherewithal to improve themselves in all spheres of life. If we agreed on this, then the present administration of President Buhari is scoring high. Take a look at the beneficiaries of the federal government's social investment program in Kano State, who are becoming key players in the microeconomic development of the state through their small businesses. Yahanasu Hassan Barau says a sizable percentage of them are self-reliant.
More than 40,000 people from 15 out of the 44 local government areas in the state are beneficiaries of 10,000 naira monthly stipend under the National Cash Transfer for poor and vulnerable in the society. Under this program, the federal government has so far disbursed more than 800 million naira in the state, which has changed the lives of many in this community. Habiba Saidu, a 60-year-old, is one of the beneficiaries. Before now, life was unfavorable, but with the current intervention through social investment, her story has changed from indigent to a key player in micro-business.
I do save 5,000 naira monthly. It is from my savings that I bought these sheets. I do this work every day. I use the money to take care of the orphans that I was.
The funds they have received from the federal government, they have been utilizing them. As we go around to one community, they are processing rice, and they have started with half bag. Now they can process 3 bags in a day.
Production of the social investment program by the Buhari administration has rekindled hope among poor and the vulnerable. Others who are yet to benefit from the federal government gesture are looking forward to expansion to 29 local government areas of the state. In Kano, Yahana Sahasambaro, NTA News.
Okay, well, do stay with us here on News Extra. We are back shortly.
presidential town hall co-production between Daria Media and NTA, supported by the MacArthur Foundation. 4 presidential town halls, 4 political parties and their presidential and vice presidential candidates, 4 Wednesdays in January 2019, 9th, 16th, 23rd and 30th January, from 7 to 9 p.m. Town hall venue, Sheraton Hotel, Abuja. Moderator, Kadria Ahmed. The candidates will be broadcast live on NTA and other partner TV and radio stations, as well as streamed online on NTA and DTV.media. If you are over 18 and want to be part of the audience, apply online at daria.media or use the hashtag NGTheCandidates, or participate online using the hashtag NGTheCandidates.
Place like home. Get a GoTV decoder and GoTenna and 1 month of GoTV Max subscription for only 6,900 Naira. GoTV. Live it, love it.
We are the strongest. No challenge can stop us, oh Lord, and we are the brightest. No darkness can blind us. We are the strongest.
Malta Guinness is packed with B vitamins to fuel your greatness on the go.
Nigeria, a land of promise, land of potential, rich in oil, arable land and solid minerals. Yet hunger, joblessness, homelessness and poverty are widespread. Over the years, Nigeria has suffered from hospitals without drugs, schools without teachers, and a huge infrastructure deficit. Clearly, we are yet to reach our full potential. And one of the reasons is because people choose bad leaders. Some even sell their conscience for a few thousand naira for 2019 elections. Don't sell your vote. Don't sell your future. Don't buy the people's lives. Vote selling is a crime against yourself. You will spend the next 4 years paying for it. Vote buying is against the law. Politicians, stop buying votes. People, stop selling your future. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
You're watching News Extra with me, Joseph Johnson. Telephone, laptops and other similar electronic devices have now become like an admission requirement for any child into adulthood, and anyone or organization without such devices is considered not ready for existence in contemporary society. Or will I say you belong to the analog family? Maybe. And honestly, the advantages of the e-world are unimpeachable. However, humanity seems largely carried away by the pleasures of these electronic devices without considering their devastating effects on the environment. Other side of the coin, if you ask me. So why you are concerned solely by the rhapsody of this revolution? Mayor Ogidi is bothered by their impact on the environment after attending the 12th National Stakeholders Forum on Circular Economy and Environmental Governance in Abuja. It was an annual workshop by the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NESRA.
We can't take our hands off of them, mobile phones and laptops. But when it is time to upgrade, we happily hand them over without really knowing their final destination. Well, they could end up in places like this. This is a dump site in Lagos, Nigeria, an electronic landfill. TV sets, computers, and laptops are separated for retail, but often regarded as trash, and the cable wires and tires are burnt, and which in turn release toxic mental and chemical to the river, which is harmful to the local population.
By year 2030, 2050, we may have to be treating wastewater to drink water. The cost of inaction, more people will be sick.
So, the 12th National Stakeholders Forum of NESRA is primarily focusing on the Nigerian government order to crack down on this environmental disaster, as the President assigns the NESRA Amendment Act, which mandates the agency to take erring producers who fail to take responsibility of their products to the court.
This amendment, it becomes the responsibility of the judge to sanction the regulated community according to the gravity of the offense without any limit.
Some of the products that appears to be indestructible and are creating more problems for the environment.
To stop creating such problems despite their level of indestructibility, these experts are bringing to the table their intellectual prowess, backed with the NESRA Act, to come up with a workable framework in order to reverse this growing trend. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
There you go. Amazing and destructive things to go by in the electronic world. Exchange of pleasantries a day after Christmas is usually characterized by the usual "how was your Christmas?" Of course, you can expect various responses. For the residents of the Tongeji Island, which is only accessible by water, it was a Christmas to remember. Thanks to the Nigerian Navy, Dr. Ogunyemi tells us more.
From the Western Naval Command's Lagoon Jetty, the journey to Tongeji Island was more than 2 hours on water, which is the only accessible means to the island, as we went through the creeks before getting to the community. The island is home to over 100 residents and located in Ikokia local government area in the west of Ogun State. Blessed by nature, these palm and coconut trees provide a source of livelihood for the people who are calling for more government presence to provide basic amenities. We are asking the government to provide us with road so that we can get out in time of emergencies. That is our critical need. Tongeji is Nigeria's closest island to Benin Republic and therefore remains a strategic location for the Navy in tackling pipeline vandals and pirates.
We encourage them to actually assist us because they are an island that is next to Benin Republic, and when things are happening, they are aware, and therefore by coming here and encouraging them, we are making them to understand that we are asking them to be on our side, not on the side of the criminals.
The Medical Rhapsody provided free consultation, eye check, glasses, dental check, laboratory service, and drugs, which residents applauded.
I'm very happy, really happy for everything that is going on.
Public of Benin don't try to collect this place. We not agree for them, but as Navy can't deal with us, we can't get food mine. Everything we rather the way Navy they do self. They make everything, they change everything, they go up and down. We like them, we greet Navy.
The Nigerian Navy has intervened in the community with the construction of a jetty, provision of a generator, and rehabilitation of the only primary school. But more needs to be done in unlocking the potentials of Tongeji Island. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
Now, ask the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, or better still, ask motorists and hear how nightmarish it is to travel on bad road. That has been the lot of travelers plying the Shagamu-Ore highway. The good news is that narrative is changing, and Jewel Popola will tell us how.
The present administration, since inception, has placed importance on road construction in view of its significance to economic development. The Shagamu-Ore Expressway is one of the federal highways that has been reconstructed for each free vehicular movement.
Shagamu-Ore Expressway is one of the busiest federal highways in the country. The road, which is the major road that connects Ogun State to other neighboring states in the southwest and beyond, was hitherto a nightmare for motorists. The narrative has now changed with reconstruction now completed by the contractor from Ogbere Junction to J4. With the road now brand new, travelers are now enjoying a hitch-free journey, unlike previous years when the road was a death trap. Accident-prone areas at Itele, J4 and Ogbere Bridge, which accounted for most accidents in the past, have been totally overhauled, courtesy of the federal government's initiative. Some of the motorists and commuters commended the federal government for the transformation of Shagamu-Ore Road.
I think the government, they have done well. 80% I gave them, unlike last year.
No, the road is good. No affect anybody, any vehicle. I think it's quite better. I mean, compared to about 3-4 years back.
Our federal government is trying about the road. No problem for the road, no problem again. Without Bahabuari.
This road now is fine. Our government, they try for this federal road.
Now straight to Benin, the road is clear. Everybody is moving fine. The time of travel, I think it has really reduced the time of travel. We can get to Benin faster.
For like the past 2 months now, I've been enjoying the route. There's no issue concerning the road.
What makes me very happy is even from Ogbere down to J4, they are relaying the road, widening it and laying new asphalt.
The road has now been widened to eradicate gridlock, while drainage was also constructed to ensure it stands the test of time. The travel time has drastically reduced as motorists enjoy a jolly good ride, but officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps are on ground to check the excesses of motorists. Like Oliver Twist, motorists and commuters want more from the federal government in the area of road transportation.
With these developments, the federal government has revived commercial activities around this route. From Shagamu-Ore Expressway, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
Thank you, Joel. So far, so good. Don't you think so? Well, we are not done yet. Just one more segment to go, and that is some foreign news and sports. Just stay with me.
Brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three
you are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah?
You take that one.
Yeah,
that one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. to come to chocolate rice made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
And how they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It will boost our economy and will give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
In recent times, too many votes have been declared void, null, invalid, or spoiled. This is not good for democracy. It is time to make every vote count. Here are a few tips on how to vote. First, when about to vote, identify the political party or candidate you want to vote for. You should not vote for two parties or candidates. It has to be just one thumbprint in the right place on your ballot paper. Make sure you thumbprint on only one space. Your thumbprint must be within the space, not outside like this. Do not allow any spill of ink into another space. Never leave your ballot paper empty. Vote for one party or candidate. Do not write on your ballot paper, just thumbprint. Do not squeeze your ballot paper once you finish thumbprinting. Place your ballot paper in the box. Enough of void votes. It's time to make your vote count. Vote the right way. This message is from the National Orientation Agency and supported by Osiwa.
Most people, if not everybody, love holidays. Of course I do. But not everyone goes holidaying during holiday periods, especially in Nigeria. Are you one of those who find it unappealing and out of place spending your holiday in Nigeria? Maybe Oyinaya Kaluoka will make you change your mind. Maybe. Oyinaya, over to you.
It is holiday season, and here in Abuja, the nation's capital, the street is empty. Well, where are Nigerians traveling to? If you care to know, domestic tourism is the in thing. From the amazing, beautiful Mambila Plateau in the north to the inviting Ikogosi Spring in the southwest, down to Obudu Cattle Ranch in the south-south, and numerous tourist sites, intriguing artworks, Nigeria is sure naturally endowed. It used to be a thing of pride to jet out of the country for holidays by Nigerians, but reverse seems to be the case lately.
And this is the best place I can enjoy grooving Christmas and flexing around.
I prefer enjoying the money in Nigeria than go to abroad.
At least another way of increasing our economy. And the best place I would like to enjoy here in Nigeria is Cross River.
Statistics from the hospitality report indicate that domestic tourism is expected to contribute about 3.63 billion naira to the country's GDP by the end of 2018. He is 42 years. Yusuf Umar is a petty trader at the popular Area 2 shopping complex in Abuja. He is one of the beneficiaries of the value chain in the tourism sector.
Yeah, I sell them plenty. If they do cannibal, market a mook like that.
The National Bureau of Statistics said tourism sector accounted for 34% of the GDP and about 20% of the nation's employment creation in 2017.
And I think the figures he's come out with is encouraging, and I think that the industry globally has grown year on year on year. I mean, it's even in recession, it doesn't slide back.
Meanwhile, the number of international arrivals in the country is expected to grow by 1.5%. This success story, many say, is attributed to the policies introduced by the administration, which identify tourism as one of the pillars of its diversification policy.
The enabling environment that is also being created, not just the new tourism bill, but things like visa on arrival, ease of doing business. Even if you're coming into the business, the ease of registering your company, the clarity in taxation laws, the business-like approach that you didn't used to find, but now you find in interacting with government agencies. I think the aggregated effect of that is the acceleration of things that would normally take maybe 5 years are now taking a year. And those things are coming online.
With all these incentives, Nigerians are looking closer home for holidays, while foreigners are cherishing the culture and tradition of the country in its raw form. Well, everything is in Nigeria. Always remember that whatever you're looking for in Sokoto is in your Shokoto.
Indeed, Oyinaya. So where would you rather spend your next holiday? Make that Nigeria. Now, if properly harnessed, culture could become a veritable tool for national unity, bringing to an end the intertribal and communal crisis plaguing the nation. These and more are what the Cross River State government seeks to achieve with the hosting of the annual cultural parade as part of the activities for its Christmas festival. Achibong Basi reports that 20 states participated in this year's cultural parades, showcasing their rich cultural heritage while promoting unity.
Parade is an annual event where the rich cultural heritage of not just the Cross River State people, but Nigeria as a whole is being showcased through dance, drama, and the costumes. Apart from national transformation, the rich cultural heritage of the Nigerian people is also a veritable platform for growing the tourism industry for economic development. The theme of the 2018 Cultural Parade Africanism is geared towards promoting peace and national unity.
Almost the entire nation is here with their different costumes, their different attires, and their different drumming and their different song, which means in one way or the other we are together.
Over 20 participating states lauded the Cross River State government for creating an enabling environment to showcase the nation's unique culture.
As you can see in this carnival, there are people from all over Nigeria, and we are celebrating.
If well harnessed, the nation's rich cultural heritage remains a tool for achieving peace and national integration. In Calabar, Achibombasi, NTA News.
Still on celebrations and in line with the federal government economic diversification drive, tourism potentials are being harnessed through the unique socio-cultural heritage of the Yorubas in the southwest. Now, Oyo State wants to lead the pack. That's why Governor Abiola Ajimobi is tasking stakeholders in the Ashofi industry to step up the global acceptability. Lanre Gbeleyi witnessed this year's International Ashofi Festival.
That Iseyin town is synonymous with Ashofi is a statement of fact. There is hardly a family in the town without a weaver of this fabric in his fold. Ashofi, commonly called Ashoke, has been a ceremonial attire of the Yorubas for more than 200 years. The traditional attire is now mostly used at weddings and burial ceremony and other traditional ceremonies. Now, it's being repackaged, rebranded to become one of the major fashion statements, not only in Oyo State, but across the country.
Used all things which we are using in past, but still they are using the same quality and producing build quality. See the quality, the feel. You can assume the feel of the fabric is very nice, very nice.
Done a bypass, like a bilateral relationship with the state of Florida, for them to do trade business. And the trade business we're talking about, we're looking at a couple of good dollars.
It was therefore an impressive display of colors, patterns and designs of the fabric at this year's Ashofi Festival. Stakeholders, including the Oyo State government, whose goal is not only for Ashofi to be a source of tourism attraction, but a budding fashion and textile industry, says the festival is the tip of the iceberg of many things planned for the future in Oyo State.
We should be patient. I'll assure you, by next time we heard, there are going to be structures on this land, inshallah.
The state government has started this program, and definitely they want it to be continuous one.
And the consensus here is that with proper incentives, this Ashoki can go bigger than this. From Iseyin town, Lanre Gbeleyi, NTA News.
These are trying times for residents of some parts of Zamfara State. We are all aware of the security challenges there. Thankfully, President Buhari is reassuring people of Zamfara State of his commitment to the security of their lives and property. The Minister of Interior, Abdurrahman Dambazau, delivered the President's assurance when he visited the state for an assessment on the security situation. Haliru Muhammad Umar has more.
The persistent loss of lives and property following attacks by armed bandits on various communities in Zamfara State has become a source of serious concern to both the government and the governed. It is against this background that President Muhammadu Buhari directed the Minister of Interior, Abdurrahman Dambazau, to visit the state for an on-the-spot assessment of the security situation.
This is a situation that is not acceptable by any government, particularly the government of Muhammadu Buhari, because we have the responsibility to protect lives and properties of every Nigerian.
Abdurrahman Dambazau, accompanied by the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Sokoto Zone and heads of other paramilitary agencies, commiserated with the government and people of the state, stating that the perpetrators of the dastardly acts will be brought to justice.
Those people who are carrying out these dastardly acts, I have a message for them from the President. They should be ready to face the consequences, because this must
State Acting Governor Sanusi Garba Rikiji appreciated the federal government for its timely intervention. The acting governor, who regretted that attacks by undesirable elements have continued to affect people's means of livelihood, expressed the state government's readiness to provide everything necessary to get to the root cause of the problem.
To assure you that we will give all the input you require to put your machineries in place to see what we can do to address this issue.
The minister later met behind closed doors with various stakeholders as part of effort to appreciate the security situation for necessary action. In Gusau, Halliru Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
And the federal government has reaffirmed commitment to tackle the increasing rate of armed banditry and kidnapping in Zamfara and Sokoto states. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar gave the assurance while on assessment visit to the affected states. Dalhatu Abdullahi has the story.
The assessment visit will offer opportunity for the visiting Chief of Air Staff to critically assess the air visibility in the affected states for prompt response. Part of the response is to complement what the officers and the men of the 119 Air Force Operation Base in Sokoto are doing by deploying more personnel to combat criminal activities in Sokoto and Zamfara states.
We have what it takes to deal with the security challenge here. All that we need to do is to quickly look at whatever gaps there are and try to see how we can bridge those gaps.
Zamfara state and parts of Sokoto state along the Zamfara border have been under serious pressure by armed bandits, including kidnapping and cattle rustling, which also led to loss of many innocent lives. Influx of armed bandits from Zamfara state had necessitated Sokoto state government to actively work with the security agencies day and night across border local government areas.
Whatever support that is required to actually reposition the 119 forward operational base in Sokoto, the government of Sokoto state is very ready and available to give that support, and to all other sister security agencies in the state.
Highlight of the visit was meeting with security chiefs in the state and the inspection of air facilities toward improving operational base. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
You know, the APC has brought change to Nigeria, but do you know it's not only the APC that is changing things around? There is a new spirit of news exchange among African countries. It is known as the Cloud Platform. News Extra truly Franca Uzoma Olua was among journalists from African countries who attended a training organized by the African Union of Broadcasting in collaboration with the Arab States Broadcasting Union in Algeria. The aim is to actualize the content sharing initiative among member states. Franca, you're all ears.
Globally, the cloud is catching up with the wave of the new media, and African countries cannot be left behind. The African Union of Broadcasting is also going to the cloud to provide a platform that will enable broadcasters from different African countries to have access to live events and video streaming, as well as exchange TV and radio content at no cost.
The important thing is to relay and transfer this knowledge to their colleagues and start together as a team, local team in every country to make, let's say, mutual effort in cooperation with other teams in other countries to make successful changes with the immediacy of news.
Using the Arab States Broadcasting Union cloud platform for the training, participants are expected to make proper use of the AUB cloud site to tell the true African story.
We've seen how it works, how convenient it is, user-friendly, easy to use, and hopefully it will be very beneficial. It will give us the opportunity to tell our own stories, that is Africans.
It is an opportunity for us as African journalists, African broadcasters to come together, to share our content in such a way that we can have access to what is happening.
And my role is to go and teach
this and make them own this concept so that they feel that it belongs to them. We can't all be here.
For now, AUB is investing a huge budget to build IT resources and application licenses to enable African broadcasters exchange video, audio, photos, and documentaries.
The quality of the people who attend this training we are really happy about their competence and their emphasis to participate to this training, and we really count on each of them then when they are back to their organization to really put in place and launch effectively this project.
Participants from Nigeria, Angola, Botswana, and the Gambia attended the training for English-speaking countries, while Cameroon, Senegal, and Congo Democratic Republic were Francophone countries that are among the pioneers. Franca Uzoma Olua, NTA News.
Up next is sports update, but that would be after this last break. Let's straight to sports now. Nigeria Weightlifting Federation concludes plans to organize different competitions for its national athletes in 2019 as Nigeria Football Federation adopts reconciliatory mechanisms for aggrieved members. Ayodeji Makinde has details on sports update. And just before we say our goodbyes, a quick look at the weather picture for tomorrow, Thursday.
Welcome to the weather forecast from the Nigerian Meteorological Agency. It's still very much dusty and hazy over most parts of the country. Thursday won't be any different. Dust haze conditions are expected across the country. Early morning mist and fog patches are likely along the stretch of the coastal cities. By afternoon and evening hours, we expect dust haze to still prevail, though with slight improvement in horizontal visibilities. Areas around the coastal cities of Lagos, Ondo, Delta, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River should expect some few clouds here and there. And that brings us to the end of today's weather forecast. Thank you for watching and keep a date with us.
And that's News Extra this Boxing Day. Thank you very much indeed for your company. From me, Joseph Johnson, and the entire team,